So now let's have some fun and do a double crochet. And in order to make it even more fun, I'm going to pick up a different color. Let's use a little bit of this blue Plymouth yarn. Again, this is a compatible acrylic material. And in order to connect a new color, I use my hand hold as we started when we grabbed the loop down here at the very beginning foundation chain. Only in this case, just grab the end of your working thread right here. And now what I do, I give myself a little bit of a tail down here, and I do my chain. I do a chain to secure this, and then I'm going to chain 3 with my new color. I'm doing this so you can see the difference where I'm switching from half double to double crochet. So anyway, I just did a chain 3 connecting the new color. So now I turn the page of my book and I'm looking at the V's. Now here we have something interesting that also is a challenge to many crocheters. In order to keep their numbers even and their pieces even and their stitches in the right number, is that now what happens is when you do a double crochet, you do a yarn over, but we do not go into the first stitch. We skip this first V right here and go into the next one. Do your yarn over, go into the next one, and a yarn over and pull it towards you. And we now are in the same position as we were when we did the half double. Now in order to do a double crochet, you do your yarn over and go through the first 2, and then do a yarn over again and go through the next 2 stitches. All right, let's do it again. Yarn over into the next stitch, yarn over towards you, now yarn over through 2 and yarn over through 2. Yarn over into the next V, yarn over, pull it towards you, through 2, through 2. Yarn over into the next V, yarn over, pull it towards you, yarn over through the last 2. And you can see how these stitches now are much taller. The reason we skipped this first V right here is that your chain 3, when you turned, counts as your first double crochet, and it is technically the extension of the stitch below. So that's going to take a little practice, and the trick is, in order to not have your piece get smaller as you're working, we need to count when we think we're at the end of the row, because very often we need to actually do one more stitch. So when I get to the end of the row, right here is your last V. So you might think I'm at the end of the row, but you know you're not. We're going to do a yarn over, and we need to go into this last stitch right here and do the last double crochet. Now I'm going to count these double crochets. Sometimes I call them legs because to me they look like nice tall legs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Great, I'm in good shape. Now I'm going to chain 3, because when we do double crochets, we chain 3 to get the heights of your first stitch. Now we turn it like the pages of a book, and we do our yarn over, and right here you can see that this chain 3 really is the extension of the last stitch below. So I'm skipping this one and I go into the second one. Okay, so now let's review our double crochet. Again, I have my swatch here on my middle finger. and these two fingers, they're grabbing the loop. They're always holding your existing work. So I do a yarn over, go into the stitch, yarn over, pull it towards me, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. Yarn over before you go into the next stitch, 2 and 2. Yarn over into the stitch, through 2, through 2. The abbreviation for double crochet is DC in your pattern instructions, and you must remember 2 things: to chain 3 when you turn to create the height of your stitch, and to skip the very first little V that you worked into when you did your single crochet and your half double. But this time you go into the second one because it is an extension of the first. Chain 3 is the extension of the first stitch. Okay, here we are, and I know that I need to go into this last one. Can you see the chain 3 over here? So now let's count. There should be 12 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a good thing I counted. I know I need to go into the top of the chain 3 back here. And this is my number 13 stitch, and there we go. So this is extremely important that you not go into this first one, see it as the extension of the last stitch below, that you go into the second one, then count your stitches until you get really secure in putting your last stitch into the top of the chain 3. Now, knowing that in the row above I need to put my last stitch into the top of the chain 3, when I do my chain 3, I do this third one just a little bit less tight because it'll make it easier for your hook to get through there when you come to the end of the next row. All right, so now you can see the chain 3 is the extension of the last stitch below, and we're going right into the second leg below, into the stitch. So you do a yarn over into the triangle, yarn over towards you, yarn over through 2, and yarn over through 2. So let's complete our row right here. And when you work with double crochets, you can alternate them with half doubles and singles as well. Just be sure to remember to chain the appropriate number for the row you're going into. If you're switching to a single crochet row, you want to chain 1 and turn. If you're switching to a half double row, you want to chain 2 to turn. And if you're switching to a double crochet row, you chain 3 to turn. And right here, my last stitch is in the top of the chain 3, and here I am. We have 3 rows of double crochet.